All right. Oh, apologies. I don't have the microphone, or I'm not going to do any editing. I think I'd mentioned on these videos. But quick update. It has now been just over 3 weeks since I retired from the corporate gig. I'm going to try, mostly just as a diary, and if it does help someone, awesome. To at least, now that things have started to barely slow down just a little bit, which I'll get into in a minute, uh, hopefully do at least one video a week, maybe even 2 or 3 if it's the right time. But long story short, left corporate. I didn't want to immediately, start making all these videos and all this other stuff. I immediately started helping with my wife's coffee shop. That's why I say retiring in quotes. It really isn't. It's I had mentioned before, what do they call it? Barista fire, where you're literally just leaving a much more corporate, high stress job for just something simpler, right? And they used to call it barista fire, financial independent retire early. So doing that, working here off the grid, in the garden. I've got the sprinklers running right now. Today, beautiful. I think the high is like 80. It's cloudy, overcast, nice breeze. Oh, this is great. Because it's been nonstop, mid to upper 90s. So yeah, it's definitely been roasty. And me going from the nice air-conditioned office and being 48, immediately getting into, manual labor, which again, I'm no stranger to a degree, but again, I'm 48. So all that to say, I am here. No, I haven't went back yet. No, I'm kidding. Good news is, it's kind of weird. It feels a little surreal. Like, even though I worked there 24 years, part of it seems like, I don't know, kind of like high school or college. Something that, oh yeah, I remember it vividly. But, I don't know, I mean, it almost is like, wait, did I work at Walmart? I worked at the corporate office? So yeah, it's a little bit surreal. Also, I think what they say, that you don't really understand how stressed you are at somewhere until you kind of leave that environment. And, don't get me wrong, I've been, working with Merrill Lynch, doing all this stuff, which I've got the feedback that I ramble on a few too many subjects, so I'm going to try to be concise there. Merrill Lynch, I will do that on a separate video then, but it basically, I have to wait a month until after I've left the corporate environment, and then they say, okay, here's your 401k, what do you want to do with it? That's what I was talking to Merrill Lynch about, and that's also part of the reason I can, quote unquote, retire early. And before someone says like, oh yeah, that's easy for you to say, you've got a couple of million. Nope, not even close. What I will say is, the $1 million thing is kind of a myth, right? First of all, $1 million, if you just feed off like the interest, or say that 4% rule, whatever they talk about, it's good money, but you're not that rich. It's like, you got $1 million, which I should add, less than 3% of Americans ever have. So okay, so 97% never even get there. But let's say you did make it to $1 million. You're looking at basically like around 75,000 a year. I mean, that's great money. If you are 59 and a half, you're able to draw that interest piece, et cetera, et cetera. But 75,000 is not going to be like, hey guys, I hit $1 million, I'm traveling the world. On 75,000 a year, I mean, you might travel it once a year, and that depends on the rest of your bills. But yeah, that myth where like I saw now that people say, oh, you need 1.6 million to retire. Stop. How many retire with $1 million? Just under 3%. Well, obviously, well, how many do 1.6? It's going to be less than that. So what about the other 98, 99% of us? And that's where I think, hopefully, it will at least go well for me, not blow up my face. Um, and I'll be able to say, hey guys, you're able to get by on a lot less than you think. And again, we have not lived really frugally. We got a pretty nice house. We used to travel a lot. Uh, so it's not like, we're eating bread and water and just skimping by these last 20 plus years. The coffee shop doesn't make that much money at all. Basically, it pays for itself and then a little bit above that, and then gives my wife money for groceries and a little bit of fun. That's about it. So, yeah, I'll give you all the details on the financial piece, but keep in mind, everyone's numbers are different. That's why I think it's smart when people say, hey, I'm not giving my exact numbers. Um, because, for example, I am dumbfounded when I hear that, like, people average like 5,000 or more a year, a month in just random bills. I'm like, over 5,000? Well, yeah, I could not even get close to getting by. I'd have to stay at Walmart. Good grief. I don't know how people buy so much crap, which is another thing we're going to kind of get into. That, and again, I'm not talking like some of these channels where people are just, getting by on nothing. No, I'm just saying you need a lot less than you think. The world has always gotten by on a lot less. So hopefully, if anything, this channel kind of hits that sweet spot of, no, not the channel I really like, Timothy Ward, who pretty much just kind of, I think he would describe himself nomadic, just kind of does seasonal jobs, and he's about my age. Well, to me, that's a little tough because it would be like, okay, James, you have no money, no savings, no anything, don't own anything. Oh, well, I guess I'm kind of free, but I'm going to have to do something all the time just to at least eat and find somewhere to sleep. So, no, it's not that fringe, but it's also not this fringe of, I quit listening to it because they were like, we retired early, we took a big chance. Well, it turned out they didn't specify exactly. They said we fall between the $3 and $5 million group, and I'm like, dude, if you've got $3 to $5 million, you're not taking any chances. I mean, good for you for retiring early, but no, it's like no chance. I mean, there's no risk there at all. So this is much more of the middle ground, where hey, could you get by? You can save up X, working the 9 to 5, doing this. But a lot of the combination too is kind of simplifying your life a little bit. And again, I'm a little bit hypocritical here. I've got this off the grid spot, and then I've got obviously our not off the grid spot in town. So good news is, if things ever really got tough, I could sell that one, and my wife wouldn't care for it that well, but we could live here permanently. It's not that bad. I've done videos of it before, but maybe I'll do another one here before too long. But anyway, all that to say, yes, 3 weeks I've been out. Went to a couple farmers markets, just testing the water there. Doing, also selling a lot of stuff, actually a decent amount at the coffee shop, my wife's coffee shop. And helping her. I mean, she was pretty slammed today, and I helped her part of the time, and the weather was so good. I was like, hey, I've got to take advantage of this before it gets back to, like, the future outlook is no rain and, like, mid-90s as far out, like, as the 2-week forecast is. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to dig the potatoes, I've got to. And no, it's going good, I think. It's a little bit different because I should have got my Walmart paycheck if I'd have stayed at Walmart last week. But I don't work there anymore. So my last paycheck was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, 3 weeks ago, whenever I quit, the week after that pay period. So it's kind of the real deal now. But we'll get into that on another video. But yeah, so far it feels good. It's been insanely busy just because trying to figure out this new schedule. You know, it feels a little like vacation at first, and then you realize no more Sunday dread. But no, it's nice. It really is. And I'm really looking forward to kind of getting a, you know, shouldn't even say that, but once past garden season, again, I've got the schedule kind of like, okay, XYZ, which we'll get into later. Already have from last season about 50 ricks of wood for sale. Again, sell it, nobody does that anymore, so a lot of people that have wood burning stoves, it will sell in a hurry. So you're looking at probably $100 per rick, so you're looking at maybe $5 grand. But none of this is gonna get you rich. Basically the 72T on the Merrill Lynch thing, which we'll talk about later, should, you know, knock on wood, cover all of the bills. But it is going to require still, though, a level of simplifying. But yeah, still here, still plugging away, and I'm going to try to do a little bit better about putting a video out. Just kind of saying, hey, here it is. Literally, if you can start simplifying now, if you can start saving just a little bit, here are your options. And there's not a ton before you hit 55. And in a lot of them, 59 and a half, but there are some, 72T being one of them. So if anything, I do hope to encourage people to say, you know, whether it be me saying, hey, look, here's completely off the grid. That's an option. Number two, if you don't want to do off the grid, or if you want to do a combination like me, here's a 72T, here's how you can make this work and stick it to the system. Don't sit there and slave away forever. And then number three, I wouldn't call it minimalizing, because trust me, I just hauled 2 truckfuls of stuff to Helping Hands of just stuff we've accrued over the years. So it's definitely not, I'm definitely not a minimalist, but I would just say there's a level of simplicity that you can really get by on. Like I've said in the one video, $30 a day. That is very easily, hey, I'm gonna get a coffee in the morning, I'm gonna get a little lunch there at the work cafeteria, and maybe a few snacks. Stop. You're at 30 bucks. Okay, $30 a day, what's your point? $30 a day, that's $10,000 a year. 10,000? Yeah. If you could just do your own snacks, set that to the side, guess what? And you don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket, that's 10,000 bucks a year just there. But there are so many people that I talk to making, literally, this isn't an exaggeration, just over $200,000 a year, and him and his wife are living paycheck to paycheck because they can't quit buying stuff. Yeah, so that's the person that, you know, again, the person that makes $10,000 a year, but their bills are $9,000, is actually doing better than the $200,000 a year guy that's spending $200,000. But anyway, I'll see you on the next video.